Hey everyone, thanks so much for checking out the video today. This is part 4 in our series about finding a good college, a good fit for you, where you might be able to compete on the track team. If you haven't already done so, make sure you guys go and check out the previous 3 blog posts and videos on EliteThrowsCoaching.com. You just go to EliteThrowsCoaching.com/blog and you can check out all the previous blog posts. There's 3 of them before this one and the videos that go along with it. It's all right there. So make sure to go and check that out before watching this video. In today's video, we are talking about the final step of this process. Now that you've got this all nailed down and you should have your school list to anywhere between 5 and 10 schools that you think are a great fit for you, that you are now ready to aggressively go out and pursue, and that you know you would be a good fit for their team because you resemble a lot of other throwers that have joined their team over the past couple of years. Now it's time for you to reach out and finally make contact with that school. So the first thing that you want to do is you want to go to the school's website, to that athletics website that you should have already found out in the previous step. And there should be some type of a contact form, like a PDF that you can open and fill out with all of your info. Now, when you fill out this form, they're all a little bit different, but they're going to ask you a lot of basic info. How old you are, what year you graduate, where do you live, name, address, phone number, all that stuff. And there's usually spots in there when you can put information about sort of how you've been doing over the past couple of years. You want to be as honest as possible with this, and you want to provide as much information as possible. Now, this is not the place to get crazy and start writing a novel about what you've done. This is a PDF, just a initial contact, reaching out, letting the coach know that you exist, but this is not where you want to go nuts and just start writing your life story. So your second email is going to go directly to your specific event coach. If you're a thrower, it's going to the throws coach, jumper to a jumps coach, etc. The way you do this is you go back to the athletics website and you go underneath the track and field part of that site, and you will be able to find the email addresses for all of the head coaches and assistant coaches for the teams. So go to track and field, go underneath the coaches tab that should be on there. They're all pretty much the same type of website. And then you're going to find the throws coach. You're going to email that throws coach directly. You're going to do this about a week after you send in the PDF. Okay, you don't want to do it the same day because the coach may not have gotten that email from the coordinator or whoever got that initial email from you. You want to give them a little bit of time. That way they're able to read about you, they're able to research, and believe it or not, it's not all about you. These guys have very, very busy lives, very, very busy schedules. They may only put an hour or 2 each week during the season into looking for other recruits. So if they got 10 emails that week, they may not have gotten to you yet. So give them a little bit of time. And then you're going to reach out to the coach personally, directly from your email, not your mom's email, not your track coach's email at your high school, directly from your email account, directly to that coach's email account. This is not going to be the PDF. This is going to be essentially your life story. And what you're going to include in this life story is every piece of information you can give that coach about your performances throughout your career. So more than likely, you are a junior or you are a senior that is getting ready to reach out to these colleges, and you have not yet completed your senior year of track and field. So the best thing you have to go on is how you did last year as a junior. You want to give the coach every stat you can. Everything from your height, your weight, how far you threw, so your PRs from when you were a freshman, your PRs from when you were a sophomore, and your PR last year or PRs last year as a junior. You also want to let your coach know any numbers that you do in the weight room, just the pertinent stuff. How much do you squat? How much do you bench, deadlift, clean, snatch, anything like that. Push press, anything that a college coach may need to know to see your strengths in the weight room. You also want to provide evidence, okay? Evidence is extremely important. So if you can say, hey, last year as a junior, my discus PR was 140 feet, provide the link to the online results of that meet where you actually threw 140 feet. If you have that information from your indoor season as a junior, your outdoor season as a sophomore, your indoor season as a sophomore, just find those meets where you threw your best distances and provide the links to those results. That way the coach can see for themselves. Another way that you can do this is with video. So in the age of smartphones, this video is being shot on a smartphone right now. The age of smartphones, you are able to take video of everything. So have your teammates record some of your throws at practice. Have your teammates record your throws during a meet, or your mom or dad or whoever is there. That way you can get some video evidence of what your form and technique looks like, and that you actually are who you say you are. You know, you can't tell a coach, I threw 150 feet in the discus. If it happened one time in practice, there's no video evidence. There's no one to back up your story. And because it didn't happen in a meet, it's not your official PR, and there's no meet record of it. So you can just make up anything. I threw hammer 220 feet, coach. Well, yeah, but your best in a meet's 160. So are you lying to me? Is this something where, you don't perform as well in meets as you do in practices? You want to be truthful. You want to give as much evidence and as much proof as possible. And video is a great way of doing that. What video also does is it opens up the coach's eyes, or your potential coach's eyes, to your potential as a thrower. So if your PR as a junior in the discus was 140 and your form and technique looks perfect, some coaches might say, all right, well, we can, kind of build on that. But if you're throwing 140 and your form looks like garbage, a lot of coaches are going to say, wow, imagine how far he's going to throw if we actually clean up his form. So sending video is a great way for the coach to know not only that you are who you say you are, but it's a good chance for them to see what your potential is going to be like as a thrower. Your potential also comes into play with the email that you send to your coach, or to the guy you hope is going to be your coach next year. This is where you explain things like if you have a coach at your high school or not, or if you've had coaching at your high school, how many coaches have you had? How many seasons have you been with a coach or without a coach? Because this is also going to give them an idea of your potential. If you're throwing 140 feet with terrible form and you've never had a coach, well, college coaches are going to see that and go, oh my God, what's going to happen when he has me every day? What's going to happen when he actually gets coaching? If he's throwing 140 right now with no technique and with no coach, imagine what I can do. So you've got to be honest. Don't think of that as a negative. Start thinking of some of the things as a positive. Like, hey coach, I'm 6'3" and 150 pounds. We don't have a weight room at the school. We don't have a strength coach at the school, and I throw 140 feet. Oh man, imagine if we bulk this kid up a little bit. He's never had any type of weight training. He's never had any type of strength coaching. Imagine what's going to happen if. That's what you want to put into these coaches' heads. Give them the backstory. This also goes with if you see a private coach. Like for me, I coach a lot of local throwers that don't have coaches at their school. So then they get to see how serious you are about your sport. If you say, I don't have a coach at my school, and I don't have a strength coach or a weight room at my school, but 2 to 3 times a week I go to Primal and I work with Coach Matt. And on Sundays I drive a half an hour each way to go work with a certain coach on a certain event, then the coach at your college or where you want to go to school is going to say, wow, this kid's really serious. He really wants this bad. He really wants to improve. He's been putting in the hard work. And when you combine that with your distances and how they've increased over the years, whether or not you have a coach, whether or not you started doing this, maybe you started doing it when you were a sophomore. And then the coach is going to say, wow, he's only been doing this for 2 years. She's only been doing this for 2 years. Imagine the possibilities if. That's why you need to give the whole story. And believe it or not, we're not done yet. The coach may not get back to you right away. That's okay. If the coach doesn't get back to you right away, then you can go back to the coach again a few weeks later. And you can tell the coach, hey coach, I filled out the PDF online. I sent you in a personal email directly to your email address explaining who I am and why I think I'd be a really good fit for your team in college next year. This is my third attempt. I'm reaching out to you to see if you might be interested in talking on the phone, to see if you might be interested in potentially meeting me or coming to one of my track meets. This is also a good time to explain to the coach, which you should have done already, that you are planning on visiting the school and going on a tour, talking to the admissions department or whoever it might be, and that if they're around on that day, you might want to meet with them and talk to them and see the facilities. Again, what does this do? This does not make you a nag. This does not make you annoying. What this does is it shows that you are serious about going to their school. When you look at it from a coach's point of view, there is a lot of risk that a coach takes in building a team. You hear about it all the time where someone gets, a coach to get interested in them. They recruit the athlete, they give the athlete a scholarship or a partial scholarship, and then after the first year, the athlete leaves because he doesn't like the school. Or they really try to woo this kid, this number one person. The athlete comes in, and then all of a sudden, he fails out of his classes, he fails out of college, he parties too much, and he's no longer on the team. Obviously, he's kicked out of school. You hear of this happening all the time. So if they just go after someone who's a really good thrower, but that person has no interest in their school and their grades are terrible, that's not a good recruit. If they go after someone who has interested in their school and has good grades, but there's no way that they could compete for their team, that's not going to be a good recruit. But if you go to the coach and you say, hey coach, this is who I am, these are my grades, I'm very interested in your school because of the way it looks, because it's close to my home, because it has the major I want to major in, and oh yeah, I'm a good enough thrower to be on your team and make an impact on your team immediately. Well, now you've just made that coach's job extremely easy, and you become a top recruit for that school. If you make it easy on the coach to find you, if you make it easy on the coach where he doesn't have to take a risk because you have bad grades, or because you might not throw that far, or because you have not researched the school and you're not willing to visit the school, then the coach probably isn't going to look at you. You need to make it easy. And all of these steps, what we've done is we've narrowed down exactly where you want to go to school, and we've narrowed down a place that you might call home for the next 4 years. So if the coach already knows that, and the coach already knows that you're interested and that you can compete for the team because of how far you throw, it's going to be really easy for that coach to say, you know what, why don't you come do one of your visits with us, an official visit, come meet the rest of the team, come stay overnight with some of my athletes, come to a practice, see if you like it, and then that's going to open up the possibility for things like potential scholarships or having the coach actually recruit you and have you be on the team. So thanks again for checking out the blog. Thanks again for checking out the video, and stay tuned for more blog posts and more videos that are going to be popping up every single Tuesday.